The world feels like it's working against you, doesn't it? Dating today is a battlefield, and it seems like no one has your back. Women put on masks, hiding their true intentions, while social media turns attention into currency. And then there's you left, trying to navigate through the chaos, deciphering motives, battling manipulation, and protecting your dignity. Too many good men like you are being used, manipulated, and stripped of their self-respect. Women see you not as someone to value, but as a tool to get what they want. Validation, money, convenience. But you're different. You're here because you refuse to stay in the dark. You're ready to rise above, to recognize the games being played, and to claim your worth unapologetically. Today, I'm going to give you something real. The 7 deadly signs that a woman isn't worth your time. This isn't fluff. This is raw, no-holds-barred truth based on hard experience, grounded in the philosophy of Stoicism and masculinity, and shaped by reality. If you're tired of being a pawn in someone else's game, if you want clarity and power in your relationships, stay with me until the end. Don't forget to subscribe so more men hear these truths. And leave a comment below. Respect isn't negotiable. Let's get into it. Number 1, mind games. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The gut-wrenching moment when you realize that the woman you've been pouring your heart, energy, and time into has been playing you all along. It's the subtle manipulation that creeps into your life, chipping away at your confidence. Mind games aren't just confusing, they are emotionally destructive. They leave you questioning everything you're worth, your judgment, even your sanity. This isn't love, it's control. You've been there. One day, she's telling you that you're the best thing that ever happened to her. The next day, she's distant, cold, and unreachable. You start wondering what went wrong. Here's the truth: nothing. It's not you, it's her. She's testing you, pulling the strings, seeing how much you'll tolerate. This isn't accidental, it's calculated. She's pushing your buttons, testing how far she can go. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself trapped in her emotional web. And let's not even get started on how social media has supercharged these mind games. She posts pictures of herself knowing full well that she's going to get attention from men who aren't you. And when you bring it up, she turns it around on you. Why do you care so much about what I post? It's not a big deal, but it is. It's everything. She's creating confusion, making you question where you stand in her life, while she soaks up validation from strangers. She thrives on the unpredictability, the constant cycle of giving and withholding affection. One moment, she's showering you with love. The next, she's ghosting you for hours. And when she finally responds, it's cold, dismissive, or worse, she acts like nothing happened at all. That's not love. That's manipulation. A woman who truly cares about you doesn't keep you guessing. She doesn't thrive on confusion. She values your peace, your sanity, your stability. Mind games start small. She cancels plans last minute, claiming she's tired, but later you find out she was out with her friends. She makes you feel guilty for wanting consistency in your relationship. She flirts with other men right in front of you and accuses you of being insecure when you call her out. These are tests she's seeing how much she can push before you push back, or worse, break down. Let's take a deeper look into the psychology behind this. Women who play mind games are often insecure. They crave control because they lack it within themselves. They want to see how much power they can exert over you because it feeds their fragile ego. And here's where the problem lies. Modern culture, social media, dating apps, and society as a whole enable this behavior. Women are told they're entitled to constant admiration and attention. And when they get used to that, It's easy for them to manipulate those around them, especially men who don't know their own worth. But you're not falling for it. You're not the one who will be controlled or manipulated. You're not a pawn in her game. You know your value, and that's why you're here to rise above the chaos, to claim your dignity back, and to make sure your time, energy, and love are not wasted on someone who doesn't deserve it. So, listen closely, because this is where you take back control. If you don't give her what she wants, she'll find someone else who will, or, at the very least, she'll make you believe you need to. Let that sink in. Mind games are a full-out assault on your masculinity. They're designed to make you question your worth, strip away your confidence, and leave you desperately seeking her approval. She wants you chasing her, begging for clarity, and fighting for scraps of affection. Why? Because as long as you're focused on her, you're not focused on yourself. You're not growing, building, or achieving. You're stuck in her world, playing by her rules. And that, my friend, is exactly where she wants you. But here's where you take a stand. You're not like most men who justify this toxic behavior, convincing themselves it's normal, or that they just have to put up with it. You're here because you know your worth. You know you're not meant to be anyone's emotional punching bag. You're here because you're ready to reclaim your power, and that starts with clarity. Zeno of Citium, the father of Stoicism, once said, "Clarity is the foundation of trust." And let me tell you, a woman who plays mind games isn't interested in giving you clarity. She thrives on confusion, ambiguity, and chaos. The moment you feel like you're walking on eggshells around her, it's time to reassess. Ask yourself, is this behavior aligned with the man I want to be? Is this the kind of relationship I want to invest my time and energy into? If the answer is no, then you already know what you need to do. Set boundaries firm, non-negotiable boundaries. A woman who respects you will honor your boundaries. She won't test them, push them, or try to manipulate her way around them. But a woman who thrives on mind games, she'll do everything in her power to break them. And when she does, it's time to walk away. Not argue, not negotiate, just walk. Your peace of mind isn't up for debate. Here's the hardest truth you'll hear. Walking away isn't easy. It hurts. You've invested your time, energy, and emotions. But let me be clear, holding on to someone who manipulates you is far more painful in the long run. The longer you stay, the more you lose. Your confidence, your dignity, your sense of self. Don't let that happen. You owe it to yourself to demand better. Women who play mind games often use one key tactic. They'll make you feel like you can't do better. They'll undermine your confidence, subtly planting the idea that they're your only option. They'll say things like, "No one will love you like I do," or "You're overthinking things," or even, "You're lucky I'm even with you." These are lies, designed to keep you trapped. But here's the truth. You can do better. You deserve better. And the moment you realize that, the game ends. That's when you break the cycle. Stop engaging in the back and forth. Stop justifying her behavior. Stop waiting for her to change. Because she's not interested in change. She's interested in control. As long as you allow it, she'll keep taking more of your energy, your attention, your worth, until there's nothing left. Don't let that happen. It's time to reclaim your power. Focus on yourself, your goals, your ambitions, your growth. Build a life that is so full of purpose and fulfillment that you don't have time for games. A high-value man doesn't chase after women who don't appreciate him. He doesn't tolerate manipulation, confusion, or disrespect. He sets the standard and never settles for less. Mind games are a choice. She chooses to play them, and you choose to stay. But now you know better. You see the signs, the tactics, and the motivations behind them. Most importantly, you now know that you don't have to accept it. You have the power to walk away, demand clarity, and build the kind of life and relationship you deserve. Now, let's talk about something equally critical: respect. Respect isn't a favor, it's the bare minimum. It's the foundation of every meaningful relationship, and without it, everything else falls apart. Yet, in today's world, respect is one of the most overlooked aspects of modern relationships. Too many men are tolerating blatant disrespect because society has conditioned them to believe they have no other choice. But you're different. You feel it in your gut when something isn't right. When she talks to you in a way that chips away at your dignity, your instincts are telling you that something is wrong. And that feeling, it's not paranoia. It's your instincts screaming at you to pay attention. Disrespect isn't always obvious. It's subtle, quiet, insidious. It's in the way she talks over you in conversations, as if your thoughts and opinions don't matter. It's in the way she dismisses your accomplishments, treating them as if they're insignificant, while demanding applause for the tiniest things she does. It's in the way she cuts you down in front of others, making jokes at your expense to get a laugh. And when you call her out, she flips it back on you. Can't you take a joke? That's not a joke. It's a test. A deliberate attempt to see how much disrespect you'll tolerate before you stand up for yourself. Now, let's talk about boundaries. A woman who respects you won't cross your boundaries. She won't push, poke, or prod at the lines you've drawn. She'll honor them because she understands that your boundaries are a reflection of your self-respect. But a woman who lacks respect will treat your boundaries like obstacles to be overcome. She'll argue, manipulate, and guilt-trip you into moving the goalposts. Why do you have to be so strict about this? Can't you just relax? No, you can't relax when it comes to the things that matter. And the moment you do, you lose not just her respect, but your own. Disrespect doesn't stop at boundaries, it escalates. It starts small, ignoring your preferences, interrupting you mid-sentence, rolling her eyes when you're speaking. But over time, it grows. She starts undermining you in front of others, making you feel small in social settings. She criticizes your decisions, making you question your ability to lead. And before you know it, you're walking on eggshells, constantly trying to appease her, trying to avoid triggering her. That's not love. That's servitude. Women who lack respect for their men often display it in ways they think you won't notice. But you do notice. You notice when she prioritizes everyone else over you, when she answers texts or takes calls during your time together as if you're invisible. You notice when she talks about you to her friends in a way that diminishes your role in her life. Oh, he's great. But that but says it all. It's the sign that, in her eyes, you're not enough. And you know what? You are enough. You deserve better than this. You deserve respect. And that starts with refusing to tolerate anything less. In the age of modern dating, the disrespect that runs rampant is more pervasive than ever. Social media, once seen as a way to connect, has become a breeding ground for undermining relationships. Think about it. You catch her posting a picture that's more revealing than necessary, more focused on drawing attention than sharing a moment, and when you speak up about it, what's her response? It's just a picture. Really? No, it's not just a picture. It's a message, a loud, undeniable one. A woman who truly respects you doesn't need the validation of strangers. She doesn't need to seek out attention at the expense of your relationship. If she does, it's clear where her priorities lie, and they're not with you. But respect goes far beyond just how she handles herself online. It's deeply rooted in how she treats your time, energy, and effort. You deserve a partner who honors what you bring to the table. But a woman who lacks respect, she'll take you for granted every chance she gets. She'll expect you to constantly cater to her needs, solve her problems, and act as her emotional anchor, all while offering little in return. It becomes exhausting. She'll act as if it's your responsibility to sacrifice your happiness for hers. And the kicker? She won't even appreciate it. You're left giving, while she simply takes. But you don't owe her anything. Respect is earned, not demanded. And if she's not willing to earn it, she doesn't deserve any of your effort. Seneca once said, "He who respects himself is safe from others." This is your wake-up call. The moment you begin to respect yourself, you'll stop making excuses for her behavior. You'll stop accepting half-hearted apologies that don't mean anything. And most importantly, you'll stop settling for less than you deserve. The truth is brutal, but it's necessary. If she doesn't respect you, she doesn't love you. Love and respect are inseparable. If she's tearing you down, if she's dismissing your needs, if she's undermining your sense of self, it's time to take a long, hard look at where this relationship is headed. Walking away isn't easy. It's gut-wrenching. Every time you let disrespect slide, you send a message not just to her, but to yourself. You tell yourself that this is the best you can do, that this is all you deserve. But deep down, you know that's a lie. You know you are capable of so much more. You deserve someone who sees you for the incredible man you are and wants to build something real together. Demand better. Respect starts with you. It's in the boundaries you set, the standards you hold, and the way you carry yourself. A man who respects himself doesn't beg for respect. He commands it. He doesn't settle for less than what he deserves. So the next time you feel disrespected, don't sweep it under the rug. Don't let it slide. Address it head on. Look her in the eye and make it crystal clear that you won't tolerate it. If she apologizes and makes a genuine effort to change, great. But if she turns defensive, if she argues, if she doubles down, then you know what you have to do. Walk away. Not out of anger, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. And if you're wondering, what if I never find someone better? Stop that thought right now. That's fear talking, the part of you that's been beaten down by years of tolerating disrespect. But here's the truth. You will find better. The moment you start respecting yourself, you'll attract the kind of woman who respects you in return. Someone who appreciates your worth, who values your time, who wants to build with you, not tear you down. Let's talk about the next betrayal. Inconsistent actions. In a world where words are so cheap, actions reveal the truth. Words may promise the stars, but actions show whether they really care about your future together. How many times have you heard the same tired promises? I'm with you. I care about you. I want us to build something together. Yet when you look at her actions, you see the disconnect. You're chasing after the ideal of who she says she is, not confronting the reality of who she's proven herself to be. Inconsistent actions are like poison to a relationship. They erode trust and leave you wondering where you really stand. She says she values you, but when it's time to show up, she's nowhere to be found. She claims you're her priority, yet every decision she makes says the opposite. You deserve better than this. Don't let her play you with empty promises. Her actions, or lack thereof, are telling you everything you need to know. The worst part? Inconsistent actions thrive in a world of chaos. Social media has created a platform where people can present whatever version of themselves they want, leaving the truth buried in layers of filters and captions. She might post about loyalty and love, but behind the scenes, she's texting other men, canceling plans with you, and treating your time as an afterthought. It's maddening. You're caught in the crossfire of what she says and what she actually does, and you're left questioning yourself. Am I overreacting? No. You're expecting consistency, and that's not too much to ask. The truth is simple. A woman who truly values you will make that clear through her actions. She won't leave you guessing. She won't make you question where you stand. Her words and actions will be in perfect harmony, and that will create the kind of security and trust every relationship should be built on. But a woman who thrives on inconsistency, she'll keep you on your toes, emotionally exhausted, unsure of where you really stand. She will create chaos, because as long as you're off balance, you're not focused on yourself, your goals, or your growth. You're lost in her game. Inconsistent actions can show up in small, subtle ways. She says she's too busy to see you, but somehow has time for everyone else. She tells you she wants to build a future together, yet doesn't support your ambitions. She swears she's loyal, yet her actions tell a different story. Every choice she makes that doesn't align with her words is a sign that she doesn't respect you or your relationship. It's time to stop letting this behavior slide. Here's the harsh truth that no one wants to hear. Inconsistency is not just a problem, it's a form of disrespect. It's a blatant statement that says, I'll do what I want, and you'll just have to deal with it. It shows a complete lack of regard for your feelings, your needs, and your expectations. And as a man, you need to ask yourself, is this really what you're willing to put up with? Are you okay with being treated as an afterthought? With your trust being chipped away piece by piece until there's nothing left? If your answer is no, then it's time to take control and act decisively. Walking away from an inconsistent woman isn't easy. You've invested time, energy, emotions, and your heart into her. You've built a connection, shared experiences, and created memories that make letting go feel like a loss. But here's the reality that stings, but sets you free. Holding on to someone who can't provide the consistency you deserve is a far greater loss. Every single day spent chasing after her mixed signals is a day you could be investing in yourself, your growth, and your future. You deserve better than someone who keeps you guessing and doubting your worth. Don't waste another minute on someone who doesn't see your value. Psychology sheds light on this toxic cycle. Women who act inconsistently are often grappling with deep internal conflicts. They crave stability, but fear commitment. They long for love, yet hesitate to put in the work necessary to nurture it. Rather than confronting their own emotional struggles, they project their fears and doubts onto their partners, creating a whirlwind of confusion and instability. But here's the hard truth: you can't fix this for her. It's not your job to heal her wounds. Your responsibility is to recognize the signs early, protect your peace, and move forward with the strength to leave her emotional chaos behind. Marcus Aurelius once wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." The same applies to relationships. Don't waste precious energy trying to understand why she's inconsistent. Stop dissecting every word she says, every promise she makes. Instead, observe. Pay attention to her actions. They will tell you everything you need to know. If her behavior doesn't align with your values, walk away, not with anger, but with self-respect. Consistency is not just a nice-to-have in relationships, It's a reflection of character. It speaks volumes about her integrity, her respect for you, and her understanding of the commitment you've both made. A woman who is consistent shows that she values not only you, but herself. She's accountable for her actions. She follows through on her promises and builds trust through her steady behavior. That's the kind of woman worth your time. Anything less, it's nothing but a distraction. I challenge you, the men watching this, to raise your standards. Stop settling for words that are empty and hollow. Stop tolerating confusion and chaos in your relationships. You deserve consistency not through ultimatums or demands, but through the quiet strength of your own actions. Show her that you won't settle for less by refusing to engage with women who don't meet your standards. Focus on your growth, your goals, and your self-worth. Build a life so full of purpose and ambition that only a woman who truly values you will have a place in it. Now, let's shift gears and talk about a betrayal that's even more insidious: materialism. Let me be clear, if a woman values your wallet more than your worth as a man, she's not in a relationship with you, she's in a transaction. And in today's world, this materialistic mindset is more prevalent than ever. Too many women have come to view men not as partners, but as walking ATMs, mere tools to fund their lifestyle. And if you're not careful, if you don't recognize this toxic dynamic early, you'll find yourself pouring your hard-earned resources into someone who doesn't respect you, doesn't value you, and doesn't care about anything other than what you can provide. Materialism is a slow, insidious poison. It starts small, but it grows into something that can drain you emotionally, mentally, and financially. She drops hints about wanting more expensive dates, better gifts, or grander vacations. You go along with it because you want to make her happy, thinking that this will be the gesture that earns her love and appreciation. But guess what? She never acknowledges your efforts. She doesn't say thank you. She doesn't appreciate the sacrifices you've made. Instead, she only wants more of your time, your energy, and your money. This isn't love. Love is reciprocal. Love is about building something together, about supporting each other, about sharing the burdens of life and not just the benefits. A materialistic woman doesn't care about building anything. She only cares about taking. She sees your money as a resource to exploit, not as a reflection of your hard work, discipline, and ambition. And when the money runs out, so does she. That's the brutal truth. A woman who values you solely for what you can provide will disappear the moment you can't provide anymore. Think about how hard you've worked to get to where you are. Every dollar in your bank account represents sacrifices, late nights, early mornings, and countless hours of effort. You've given up time with your family, your friends, and even yourself to build the life you've worked so hard to create. Yet, she treats all of that as though it's nothing more than an entitlement. She thinks it's her right to demand it just for being in your life. That's not partnership. That's parasitism. Materialism doesn't always come in the form of blatant demands for gifts or expensive outings. Sometimes it's subtle, but just as damaging. She doesn't show interest in your goals or ambitions unless they translate into financial gain. She doesn't encourage you to save, to invest, or to build a stable future. Instead, she pressures you to spend money on things that benefit her. She criticizes your efforts to be financially responsible, labeling you as cheap or stingy if you don't cater to her every whim. Modern society has only made this worse. Social media is filled with images of women flaunting their lavish lifestyles, designer bags, exotic vacations, and expensive dinners, all funded by men who've been convinced that their value as a man is determined by how much they can buy. These women post their materialistic lives proudly, not out of gratitude, but because they believe it's their due. They've been taught that a man's worth is measured by what he can provide, not by who he is. And when you try to call out this behavior, she'll flip the narrative on you. She'll accuse you of being insecure, of not being a real man, of not meeting her standards. But let me tell you this, a real man doesn't let himself be used. A real man knows when he's being taken advantage of and has the strength to walk away. Providing for someone you love is a noble act, but being exploited is not. A materialistic woman will drain you, and no matter how much you give, it will never be enough. She'll always want more, and you'll be left chasing an impossible standard, sacrificing your own happiness, peace of mind, and financial stability in the process. It's time to recognize that you deserve a love that's real, a partnership based on mutual respect, trust, and admiration, not one based on what you can provide. Let's get something straight right from the start. This isn't about avoiding women who enjoy the finer things in life. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to experience the luxuries that this world has to offer. We all have our tastes, and who doesn't like a bit of indulgence? But here's where the problem lies when those material things become the very foundation of her interest in you. When a woman values you only for the luxury you can provide, it's time to step back and reassess. A woman who truly sees your worth will look beyond your wallet. She will appreciate the depth of your character, the integrity that defines your decisions, and the vision you hold for your future. She won't need constant material validation to feel secure in your relationship. She'll see the real you, the man who's worked hard to build a meaningful life. And she'll want to build with you, not just enjoy the fruits of the labor you've already put in. Let me break it down. If you hear excuses like, "I just like the finer things in life," "I'm used to a certain standard," or "I deserve to be treated like a queen," those aren't cute little personality quirks. They're red flags waving in your face. A woman who constantly justifies her materialistic behavior is giving you a clear picture of who she is. Believe her, and don't let yourself be swept up by her charm, her beauty, or those fleeting moments when she showers you with affection. Those things will fade. The damage caused by her materialistic attitude, however, can last forever, bleeding you dry of your energy, your time, and your resources until you have nothing left to give. Here's what you need to do to protect yourself. Guard your resources like the treasures. They are your time, your money, your energy. These are finite, and they are far too valuable to waste on someone who doesn't appreciate their true worth. Set firm boundaries, and if she pushes back, if she manipulates you with guilt, or makes you feel like you're being unreasonable for prioritizing your own well-being, then walk away. A woman who respects you will respect your boundaries, financial or otherwise. She won't pressure you to spend beyond your means, or ask you to sacrifice your goals and dreams just to fulfill her temporary desires. Don't settle for less. Focus on finding a woman who aligns with your values. Look for someone who understands the importance of hard work, responsibility, and mutual support. A woman who's willing to contribute, not just take. Because at the end of the day, a relationship isn't about one person giving everything while the other takes. It's about partnership, two people coming together to create something greater than themselves, to build a life that's rewarding for both, not just one. Ask yourself, is she adding value to your life, or is she just draining it? Is she helping you grow, challenging you to be a better man, or is she holding you back with her demands and materialistic mindset. Is she building with you, investing in the life you're creating together? Or is she only interested in spending the things you've already built? These are the questions you need to ask. They'll reveal whether she's worth your time, your energy, and your future, or if she's just another materialistic distraction. To the men watching this right now, it's time to take control of your relationships. Don't let materialism rob you of your peace, your progress, or your purpose. Recognize the signs early, set your standards high, and demand more from the women in your life. If you're with someone who can't see your worth beyond what you can provide for her, then find the strength to walk away. Because a man who truly values himself won't settle for a relationship built on taking, not giving. Now let's dive into a behavior that crosses a serious line: flirting with others. Flirting, when done intentionally and in the right context, can be playful, fun, and harmless. But when you're in a committed relationship, flirting crosses the line into betrayal in slow motion. You know the feeling. You're with her at a party or gathering, and her attention is nowhere to be found. Her eyes linger just a little too long on another man. She laughs just a little too hard at his jokes, and you catch that tilt of her head, the one that signals she's enjoying the attention a little too much. You feel that pit in your stomach, that gut instinct telling you something's off. It's not normal. It's not acceptable. And when you confront her about it, what does she say? You're being paranoid. It doesn't mean anything. You're overthinking this. Those words, they're designed to shut you down, to make you question your own instincts, to make you doubt the truth staring you in the face. But I'm telling you right now, your instincts are spot on. Her behavior speaks volumes even when her words try to drown them out. A woman who flirts with others while she's with you is sending a crystal clear message. Your presence isn't enough to hold her focus. That's not love, that's disrespect. In today's world, this issue is even more complicated. Social media has turned flirting into a 24/7 game, no longer limited to in-person interactions. It's not just the way she engages with men in real life, it's how she behaves online. She's liking thirst traps, leaving heart emojis on another man's post, sliding into DMs, or posting seductive pictures with captions that practically beg for attention. And when you call her out on it, she'll accuse you of being controlling, of overreacting. But let's be real for a second. Wanting loyalty and respect in a committed relationship is not controlling, it's the bare minimum. A relationship based on trust and mutual respect requires both partners to honor each other's boundaries, and that means no flirting with others. It's a boundary that should never be crossed. Flirting while in a relationship is not just a harmless moment. It's a signal that her commitment isn't as strong as you thought, that your bond may not mean as much to her as it does to you. Recognize these signs, because your worth is far too valuable to spend on someone who can't respect the basic principles of love, trust, and loyalty. You might be sitting there wondering, why does she do it? Why does she seek validation from other men when she already has your attention, your love, and everything she needs? Well, the truth is, this behavior is deeply rooted in her psychology. Some women are addicted to validation. It's like a drug they can't quit. It's not enough to just have one man's approval. They need the constant attention of many. They crave to be desired, pursued, and admired, even if it means jeopardizing their relationship. And here's the thing, they'll convince themselves it's harmless. They'll tell themselves it's no big deal. But let me tell you, it's never harmless. This kind of behavior chips away at the trust and security that form the bedrock of any true partnership. And once that foundation cracks, it's hard to rebuild. When a woman flirts with others, She's not just disrespecting you, she's disrespecting the very essence of the relationship you share. She's diminishing the exclusivity and the trust that should define your bond. And here's the cold, hard truth. Flirting is a slippery slope. It doesn't just stop at a glance, a smile, or a lighthearted joke. It always starts small, but it never stays small. The intention behind it is crystal clear. She's testing the waters, seeing how far she can push things without facing any real consequences. And if she's willing to flirt in front of you, imagine what she's doing behind your back when you're not around. That should shake you to your core. A loyal woman, a woman who knows her worth and values the man she's with, doesn't seek attention from other men. Why? Because she doesn't need it. She understands that the relationship she has with you is enough to make her feel secure. She honors your bond publicly and privately because she respects you and the life you're building together. But a woman who flirts with others, she's prioritizing her ego and her need for validation over the trust you've both worked so hard to build. She's playing with fire, fully aware that it could destroy everything you've built together. Now, let's talk about the excuses she'll throw your way to justify her behavior. It's just harmless fun. I'm just being friendly, or you're too sensitive. These are deflections, attempts to make you second-guess your own feelings, to gaslight you into believing you're overreacting. But let me tell you something. There's nothing harmless about flirting when you're in a committed relationship. It sends a message to the world that she's not fully invested in you. And if she's not fully invested in you, then what are you really doing together? The relationship becomes a facade, a mere distraction for her, while she continues to search for external validation. Ask yourself, why are you tolerating this behavior? Why are you accepting a relationship where you're constantly questioning her loyalty? A woman who flirts with others isn't showing you love. She's showing you that her need for attention is stronger than her commitment to you. She's more focused on her own ego than on nurturing the love and trust you've cultivated together. As a man, you deserve better. You deserve someone who sees you as enough. Someone who doesn't need validation from anyone else to feel secure in herself or in her relationship with you. I won't sugarcoat it. Walking away from a woman like this is not easy. She might have qualities that make you want to stay. Maybe she's beautiful, funny, or brings joy into your life. But let's face the truth. Beauty fades, charm is temporary, and fun doesn't build a lasting, meaningful relationship. What really builds a lasting bond is loyalty, respect, and trust. If she's not offering you these things, then she's not offering you anything of real value. You deserve someone who respects you, who values the life and future you're creating together. In a world where flirting is often brushed off as harmless or even celebrated, it takes real strength to stand your ground. It takes courage to demand loyalty, to draw clear boundaries, and to walk away when those boundaries are crossed. But that's exactly what you need to do if you want to protect your peace, your self-respect, and your future. Because staying in a relationship with someone who flirts with others will only erode your confidence, your trust, and your sense of self-worth. Let's dig deeper. Flirting isn't just a betrayal of your trust. It's a reflection of her character. A woman who flirts with others isn't mature enough for a committed relationship. She's driven by the hunger for attention, not by a commitment to you. No matter how many times you try to reason with her, how many conversations you have, or how much you hope she'll change, the truth is, she won't. Change comes from within, and if she doesn't recognize that what she's doing is wrong, she won't stop. So what should you do? First, recognize the signs. Don't ignore your instincts. If something feels off, there's a reason for it. Your gut is telling you what your heart may be afraid to face. Second, confront the issue head on. Have an honest conversation with her. Make it clear that her actions are unacceptable. If she dismisses your concerns or refuses to change, take that as your sign to walk away. Don't waste any more time trying to fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. Your energy is better spent on someone who values you enough to respect your boundaries and honor your relationship. And lastly, focus on yourself. Build your confidence, your sense of purpose, and your vision for the future. The stronger you are as a man, the less likely you'll tolerate disrespect or disloyalty. When you truly value yourself, you attract people who value you too. And when you come across a woman who flirts with others, you'll recognize it for what it is, a red flag. And with the strength you've built, you'll walk away without hesitation, knowing that you deserve better. Mind games, disrespect, materialism, flirting with others, these aren't just minor flaws, they're deal breakers. They're glaring signs that the woman you're with isn't aligned with your values, your goals, and your mission. As a man, your mission comes first. Without it, you're lost. Yes, it will hurt to walk away. Yes, it's painful to let go of someone you care about. But what hurts even more is staying in a relationship that drains you, disrespects you, and holds you back from becoming the man you're meant to be. You deserve better. You deserve peace, clarity, respect, and loyalty. Comment below if this resonated with you. Type, "Respect isn't negotiable." And if you're ready to take control of your life and relationships, subscribe to this channel. Your support helps spread this message to men who need it most.